So, hello everyone. We have Abhijay Tiwari today. He has scored 99.99 percentile in XAT 2026. His section scores were in QADI, he has scored 99.87. In VALR, he has 98.6. And in decision making, he has 99.9. What's important is not just his ZAT percentile, but his journey. His CAT didn't go as planned this year. It was around 95. But from there, in 1 month, from 95 in CAT, he jumped to 99.99 in ZAT. So first of all, congratulations, Abhijay, for this comeback.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Okay. So Abhijay, can you introduce yourself to the audience?
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Abhijay. I live in South Delhi and I'm a graduate from IIT Delhi, where I did computer science and biosciences. And I did my schooling from Mother's International School. So, yeah, I'm a fresher as well. I don't have much work experience. So, due to study continuity and all, I plan to give that right now. And my cat wasn't good. I did take coaching and all, but I think I panicked and all on the exam day, so it sort of went back. And I think we got our results around 4th or 5th December itself. So it was like, actually I was making my schedule the day I got my result. I thought, and it was like dot 30 days I had, so it was like one fat month. So it was just like I basically made my schedule and all, and I was pretty well determined that I do have one more chance. So I did have a call from Narsi Munji. My NMAT did go well, so I scored 253 in NMAT. But at the end, I wanted to convert to Excel as well. I've been aspiring to go in Excel for a very very long time, so that's why. So I gave that, and a very big thank you to the Cracku team, because I think in 1 month I've used Cracku a lot, particularly in the DM section. I think I got 99.9 percentile, and there's this game. I'm not remembering the name of it, but there's this game like in the Cracku website where you get points for actually solving a set and all,
The
and
rush,
it basically, yeah,
XP.
yeah, the rush one. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Quant rush and verbal rush. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think there was one for DM as well. So you used to basically, if you performed like average and all, it would deduct some points. It's basically rating based,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
chess rating. So like the higher cap was 100, and I remember being like around 60 and all, and I used to every day literally do like 20 or 30 sets at least. I used to go up till 75, and by midnight I used to come back to 65, and then I used to start again. I'm not being very, like, I'll not lie. I think before that also my overall rating was around 65 only, and there were all India toppers who were in 80s, higher 80s and all. So I was not expecting that my DM would go so well, but the whole point is through those sets and all, because they were so highly personalized, so like curated, they were really well curated. So I developed a perspective, and I think that is something that was more important than actually solving and getting so many points on Cracku's website. It's to develop a perspective so that when you actually give the exam, you think with that inbuilt perspective of yours. And I think quant and all, I have been studying for last 4 months because it's the same in CAT. Also, it's just that is a bit lengthy, so it's considered a bit more difficult. Verbal also, it's a bit more lengthy, so it's considered a bit more difficult. But we again do have 3 hours for that, so like 170 minutes, I'm pretty sure. So I think that was the difference. Like only I focused 1 month mainly on DM. It was, I think, 70% of my time would go into solving DM sets, and then I used to revise maths when before sleeping, because it was just revision based. I had already studied maths and all. The whole the whole point was before I gave that last day also, I was not that motivated. I didn't know I'd get such a high percentile and all. But I now realize that because of all those practice sessions and all, I developed a really, really nice perspective. And that is, I think, what other students should be going for as well. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, glad to hear this that Taco helped you. So Abhijay, first of all, I would like to discuss about the mindset. Like you didn't, most of the students generally they gave up once their cat is once they fumble up in the cat, but you didn't give up. So what was your motivation behind that, and how did you manage that? Because it is very
So,
difficult to come back from a failure. So yeah.
yeah, I'm pretty sure that was my first thought as well. I'll not lie. But the whole point was, the feeling that leads to the failure is that we'll have to start all over again. And that is where almost all of the people are wrong. You're not starting all over again. You're already at a very good point in life. You just didn't test well. One bad
Mhm.
day cannot decide that you haven't learned anything. That is
Mhm.
what I'm trying to tell you. That even on 4th December, when I got a low percentile in CAT, I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting IIM calls and all. But when I got a low percentile, I wasn't like I have to start learning everything again. You've already learned a lot of things. It was just a bad day for you. So you're not starting again. You're just carrying forward where you, and there was just 1 month. So in my mind also, like most students are like, "Ki, once exams get over, we'll go on a vacation and all." They need peace of mind, and study continuity is a very bad thing for students. I think they get exhausted. So I was like, it's not much. It's 1 month. I have to study for one more month, and then we'll decide what is what. And then I had a lot of choices and all, but that 1 month actually changed everything. So it's all about mindset. You're not starting all over again. Failure is just basically like stuck in the middle. You just have to push up. You're not going down. You never go down. That's the whole point.
Yeah, this is the great mindset. I think this will help a lot of students who are, I mean, they can rely on this advice. So, okay, let's come to that. So, can you tell me what are the resources which you followed for all the three sections?
I think Quant was so. I think Siley ma'am teaches these small videos, 40-minute videos. Those are just conception based, and so I basically put it on 1.5x, and I just sort of revised for Quant. And this is for Quant and English, I think. DM, obviously, it's new for everyone. XAT is pretty different entrance exam. They test on sections that are not there in other entrance exams, right? So in DM, I think I use the DM Rush tool. There were, I think, 6 or 7 lectures, long lectures on DM. So first week, I thought, let's just deep dive into what DM is. And I didn't give any tests the first week. I just sort of understood how we solve sets, how we develop a thinking. Like when we read the caselet, what all points should we focus on? What all points should we ignore as well? That is also a very important thing. You have to ignore a lot of details because then you start overthinking your answers and then you mess up. So it's about writing down the important points and all. And after 1 week, I started solving sets slowly. One more strategy was I used mocks a lot. Cracku's mocks are by far one of the best mocks because I think they do. It's not that I have always learned that you should not give tests that are really hard as well to prepare yourself because that will just demotivate you. You also should not give tests that are actually alike that. You should give tests that are like 20 to 25% harder than the actual exam because that is the threshold I think which decreases on that day because you panic a lot and it's like a lot of things are riding on those 2 or 3 hour papers or whatever it is. So I think that is the threshold. So 20%, and I think Krakow has fomented that like really well. They've grasped the concept of how to make a mock. So I got 51. I got 51 marks in that. So 51 is something I also got in a mock of Krakow's mock. So that was very much alike. Although I didn't get like I got I think 18.5 in DM out of 21. But I didn't get 18.5 in any mock. So that is because I was not testing well, but I had developed a perspective and it showed when it had to show. So never think that if you're getting low marks in a sectional or something, it will reflect on that paper. It's about your learning, right? So it's actually a good thing you're getting low score because if you get a low score, obviously people panic and they recheck what went wrong and all, and they actually read all the answers. So basically, if you're getting a high score, you won't do that. If you're getting a low score, you get to revisit your problems once again. So that's a learning for you only. So I actually used to get happy that okay, I didn't get that much of a score. Now I'll have more studying to do. So it's all about that perspective. Yeah. So those are some key resources that I used.
Yeah, good. So that talks about your mindset because most people generally, when they get low scores, they generally panic
That's
around.
it's kind of common in India. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So generally, we get one more question. How many mocks did you give for that?
I started 10th December, and I think till that was done, I gave one mock every day. So I think 25.
Okay, 25
So
mock.
mocks are a very, very good thing because if you're studying like 7, 8 hours of day, if you just give one mock, your 3 hours are done. You just have to, it takes 15 to 20 minutes max to analyze your mocks because you'll not obviously revisit the questions you've done correct. You'll just see the solution and never check out the answers and all. Just see the approach, I think, and then try it out on your own. So 3 hours were like fixed. So I basically fixed one time in the afternoon. Okay, I'll give a mock, and every single day for and I kept the time of original ZAT paper. I think it was from 3 to 5:50 or something. So I used to give mock on that time itself. I don't remember the time exactly, but I sort of googled it. What time does that take? And also, I gave it in the same because your mind gets in a habit that every day during those 2 3 hours, basically we'll have to think much more. So it's a neural thing as well. So yeah, I gave around 25 mocks.
Okay. So Abhijay, what was your exam strategy? Because in that we get only 170 minutes and there is no sectional timings as well like in CAT. So how did you allocate your times to different sections?
So I always in CAT also I used to start with LRDI. No, in CAT basically we don't have that option, right? So my whole point was you have to start with one section that uses the max capacity for brain because you have a fresh brain. You're sitting for an exam. You've had water. You're well structured, settled down in your seat and all. I always used to start with DM, and I used to give 40 minutes. I used to have an average time of 7 minutes per set. So there are total of 7 sets. So 49 minutes. So I used to keep 50 minutes for DM, and then I have 2 hours left after that. So my whole point was you have a fresh brain, you can think properly, you can remember things properly. So I used to finish DM first. Then during the middle part of your exam, do the laborious work, which is maths. So I used to shift to quant. I used to give 1 hour 10 minutes, huge time surplus. You can easily do a lot. I attempted actually all the questions almost. I attempted 25 out of 28 questions. I got 20 right. I think I got 18.75. Yeah. So I think my whole strategy was do quant and then literally just keep your pen, keep your working sheets, sit back, have a sip of water, and then just read English. Because now you're settled down. Now your heart is not beating anymore. You're like, I've done the hard part. It's just reading, comprehending, and that is something you can do when you're feeling at peace. You cannot read English and understand, because if you start with English and all, and if you don't get one or two questions, you'll start panicking, and if you start panicking, then the thoughts won't register in your mind, and I don't think so you can then solve questions or comprehend the comprehensions and all. They're lengthy comprehensions, so do it once you're done with all the hard work, and do English at the end. I understand everybody has their different perspectives. This is something that I followed. I was very comfortable with it, that's why. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think yeah, it would be useful. So one piece of advice you would want to give to the upcoming aspirants related to MBA entrance exam.
Yeah, my whole point would be to start early. I think that is the best advice I can give. You should really start early. I was not that fortunate because I decided on doing MBA a bit later. So I had like 3 months for CAT and another 1 month additional for ZAT. So I basically, if you have less time, then you're doing longer hours and all. One thing I love about Cracku was when I registered for the ZAT course, I had a 30-day schedule. So I don't even have to make a schedule. Like the website already and the foundation, they made sort of this course for me. It was generic for everyone. I think it works for everyone. Everyone would be like pretty comfortable following it. There is no such hiccups and all. So you already get a schedule, and it's not 8 hours or 10 hours a day. You start with a minimalistic hours or like 2 hours. Put in 2 hours. Put in 3 hours. Just do reading of what the exam is, what all you need to prepare, the syllabus. Then jump into 4 hours when you start preparing. As the months go by, just keep adding 1.5 hours or 2 hours again and again. Give a proper 8 10 hours getting 1 month prior to it, because in those 8 or 10 hours again you're giving 2 hours or 3 hours mocks only, and keep 2 hours for each subject, try revising, and towards the end do not learn anything, just try solving questions, because that is the best learning. I think revising notes, I don't give a thumbs up to that approach. I've always tried to learn through solving questions, and Krakow offers a lot of questions, so that is again a plus thing, because there were different type of solutions, alternative solutions, so you can build your approach around every concept. So start early and keep upgrading your efforts as the exam comes closer and closer. That's what I think.
Okay, Vijay. So you have an interview of XLRI on 12th March. So how is your
Yeah.
preparation going on, and what all resources are you using for preparation?
Uh, that's pretty good. So I'm from an engineering background. So recently I've been reading a lot about economics in the Indian economy, the recent conflicts and all. I have a ML data scientist profile. I'm a huge fanatic on large language models and all. I've done a lot of internships and projects in that as well. So recently we had the AI summit as well. So I'm reading up on that as well. It's basically it's about if you're a fresher and you're getting any call, they won't the interview is mainly about your academics because that is your experience. You have just learned something. They want to see how seriously you take it. And just consider it to be a graph on an XY plane with one coordinate being how much effort does the institute have to put in you, and the Y coordinate being how much impact does the student make, and they'll always select the people in the second quadrant, like with low effort. The student is there. So basically, it's about giving value to the system, not taking value out of the system, I think. And yeah, I think pretty much you just have to read a lot, have clarity why you want to do MBA, and that would surely get you to the finish line as well.
Okay, so thanks, Abhijay. I think this session will be very useful for the aspirants. They'll get inspired by your journey, and all the best for your excellent interview.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All the best to everyone.